You're listening to the Cyberwire Network, powered by N2K.
Ever wished you could rebuild your network from scratch to make it more secure, scalable, and simple? Meet Meter, the company reimagining enterprise networking from the ground up. Meter builds full-stack, zero-trust networks, including hardware, firmware, and software, all designed to work seamlessly together. The result? Fast, reliable, and secure connectivity without the constant patching, vendor juggling, or hidden costs. From wired and wireless to routing, switching, firewalls, DNS security, and VPN, every layer is integrated and continuously protected in one unified platform. And since it's delivered as one predictable monthly service, you skip the heavy capital costs and endless upgrade cycles. Meter even buys back your old infrastructure to make switching effortless. Transform complexity into simplicity and give your team time to focus on what really matters, helping your business and customers thrive. Learn more and book your demo at meter.com/cyberwire. That's meter.com/cyberwire.
Today is February 4th, 2026. I'm Maria Varmazis, and this is T-Minus.
T-minus 20 seconds to LOS T-Dress. Go for deploy. Roger, roll.
Blue Origin's Blue Moon Mark 1 lunar lander has arrived at Johnson Space Center to undergo testing.
4.
ISAR Aerospace is expanding testing operations with SSC Space at S-Range Space Center in Sweden.
3.
Airbus plans to deploy the Superbird 9 broadcast and broadband satellite for SkyPerfect JSat in 2027.
2.
Japan's SkyPerfect JSat and Europe's Constellar are collaborating on the launch of commercial sales of high-resolution thermal infrared satellite data for the Japanese market.
1.
Satellite has entered into a commercial agreement with the Aerospace Corporation for the use of its DiskSat technology. And today we have the very first of our chats from Commercial Space Week in Orlando, Florida. And this one I will be speaking to William Cook, who is the Senior Vice President of Space Operations at Psionic Navigation. We're going to be discussing their precision navigation offering. So make sure to stay with us after today's headlines to find out more about that. It is Wednesday, everybody. Happy Hump Day. Let's dive into today's Intel briefing, shall we? First up, Satellite, and that one's spelled S-A-T-L-Y-T. Yeah, Satellite has entered into a commercial license agreement with the Aerospace Corporation for the use of its DiskSat technology. DiskSat was developed by the Aerospace Corporation as a lightweight, compact, disc-shaped satellite that's designed to optimize future rideshare launches. The Aerospace Corporation says that the unconventional shape enables new possibilities for cost-effective and rapid constellation deployment, improving packing efficiency and balanced mass distribution. Following a successful launch last month, 4 DiskSats are now in orbit, beginning mission demonstrations that showcase the potential of this innovative satellite form factor. Under the new license, Satellite will integrate its onboard computing framework using DiskSat's architecture to explore applications in autonomous operations, in-orbit data processing, and distributed satellite coordination. The agreement establishes Satellite as one of the first commercial companies to work with DiskSat technology. Both teams will continue exploring opportunities for testing and technology validation throughout 2026. Japan's SkyPerfect JSat and Europe's Constellar are collaborating on the launch of commercial sales of high-resolution thermal infrared satellite data for the Japanese market. The partnership marks the first time a private company in Japan will commercially deliver data from Constellar. The company's collaboration introduces a new Earth observation capability for government and industrial users. complementing optical and synthetic aperture radar systems with object-level activity information. As it begins handling this new data, SkyPerfect JSAT will further enhance its data provision capabilities as a space solutions provider and strive to deliver more advanced solutions that address customers' challenges. And staying with SkyPerfect JSAT for our next story, Airbus says it plans to finally deploy the Superbird 9 broadcast and broadband satellite for the Japanese company next year. There have been multiple delays to the deployment of the spacecraft, with the original target was set back in 2024. But Airbus was selected to develop the Superbird 9, and it was based on Airbus's OneSat satellite design back in 2021. Better late than never. Over to Europe now, and ISAR Aerospace, which has still yet to release a date for its delayed launch from January, is expanding their testing operations with SSC Space at Esrange Space Center in Sweden. ISAR plans to open a second test site to support the development and production of its Spectrum rocket. The new facility will enable testing of more than 30 engines a month, along with expanded integrated stage testing capabilities, increasing testing capacity and enabling further development. And we do hope to see them launching at some point in the early part of this year. And Houston, we have a lunar lander. Blue Origin's Blue Moon Mark I lunar lander has arrived at Johnson Space Center to undergo testing. Very exciting. The testing will be conducted at the Thermal Vacuum Chamber A, which is a 90-foot tall chamber designed to create a vacuum and simulate conditions in space. Blue is working towards a goal of providing a lunar landing system by the Artemis 5 mission. NASA currently has a contract with SpaceX for similar systems for the Artemis 3 and 4 missions. The Blue Origin Blue Moon Mark I lunar lander is scheduled to launch on its inaugural uncrewed Pathfinder mission at some point later this year. And that wraps up today's top stories. Head to the show notes for links to further reading on all of the stories mentioned in today's intelligence briefing. And hey, T-Minus crew, you know, a lot of people are listening to podcasts through YouTube. And if that's the way you prefer to listen to this show, well, good news, everyone. T-Minus Space Daily is indeed on YouTube. You might be listening to me that way right now, in fact. And if you are, hi. We do post our episodes there on YouTube, along with video clips from interviews and events that we do throughout the year, like Commercial Space Week that we just did last week. So if you are dual screening at work and you keep the YouTube player going all day while your head's down, you know, listen, I get it. I'm not judging. A lot of us do it. At N2K Cyber is our company's YouTube channel, and you will find the T-Minus Space Daily playlist there, along with all of the other shows that we make here at N2K. Spoiler alert, a lot of them are about cybersecurity, hence the channel name at N2K Cyber. Again, that's at N2K Cyber on YouTube, and you will also find a dedicated playlist of all of our conversations from Commercial Space Week on there, so do go and check them out.
If securing your network feels harder than it should be, you're not imagining it. Modern businesses need strong protection, but they don't always have the time, staff, or patience for complex setups. That's where NordLayer comes in. NordLayer is a toggle-ready network security platform built for businesses. It brings VPN, access control, and threat protection together in one place. No hardware, no complicated configuration. You can deploy it in minutes and be up and running in less than 10. It's built on zero trust principles, so only the right people can get access to the right resources. It works across all major platforms, scales easily as your teams grow, and integrates with what you already use. And now, NordLayer goes even further through its partnership with CrowdStrike, combining NordLayer's network security with Falcon endpoint protection for small and mid-sized businesses. Enterprise-grade security made manageable. Try NordLayer risk-free and get up to 22% off yearly plans, plus an extra 10% with the code CyberWire10. Visit nordlayer.com/CyberWireDaily to learn more.
Today, we're featuring the very first of our guests from Commercial Space Week in Orlando, Florida. William Cook is the Senior Vice President of Space Operations at Psionic Navigation.
I'm the Vice President of Psionic Navigation, which I'll go into a little detail about what we do. Steve Sanford, he was the Director of Engineering at NASA, and he and his team saw a need for advanced navigation. There's a gap in the technology. So with Artemis and going to the moon, lunar surfaces, Mars, planetary, they spent over $40 million of research while he was still there. So he and several people at the company that are there now were the inventors and the developers. So when the time came, he acquired the license and the patents for all that. And so we have the rights to commercialize this technology. So it's called Coherent LiDAR.
Coherent LiDAR.
Coherent LiDAR.
Okay.
And it's a LiDAR system that performs navigation for landing, RPO, situational awareness, and it's based on the principles and uses the principles of Doppler.
Okay.
So,
can I ask you before you go into detail, just if you could explain maybe a bit? I think most of us are familiar with what LiDAR is, but coherent is a very interesting descriptor. So what does that mean?
So think of FM radio and AM radio. And do people listen to AM radio anymore?
I mean, but again,
but anyway, there's AM radio, amplitude modulation, and frequency modulation. Think of, so there are other LiDAR systems out there. Coherent LiDAR in the LiDAR system that we have developed is it's very complex, but it's very precise and accurate. So imagine if you're in cislunar or on the moon, there's no GPS there. And there's probably not going to be there for a while. Right. No. So, but here on anything that moves, GPS can be jammed. This cannot be jammed. So a coherent LiDAR sends an exact frequency out. And that frequency, it will see only the frequency that it sends out. So it can't be jammed, it can't be spoofed. The system can look directly into the sun and will not get confused by the solar radiance or anything like that. So that becomes a very important feature for some of our clients who are situational awareness, where if they're trying to see if some other spacecraft is approaching them, naturally you want to approach with the sun behind you, because any system's going to look, they're not going to see it.
Yeah.
We provide the benefit of being able to look directly into the sun from a navigational and a sensor awareness. We still meet spec and performance.
Wow.
Now,
So,
thermal heating, that's another thing.
Before we get into that, you had mentioned that there was like a gap. Is that specifically part of the gap right there about the directionality, or can you tell me a bit more about that gap?
So the difference between the other LiDAR systems that many people are familiar with are time of flight, flash LiDAR. Those have some, RF. I mean, Apollo landed on the moon with RF laser, technology, and it works fine. But this is another level of accuracy. Our velocity, we can measure below 2 centimeters per second squared.
Wow.
And our ranges, we start collecting data at well past 20 kilometers. And then as we get closer to our landing, the data fidelity and data modeling becomes even more clear. So our sweet spot is about 15 kilometers out. But we start getting good data. In some of our demonstration, we've flown on F-18s, we've flown on landers on the ground, on Earth. We've been on 2 missions in orbit. And we've got some excellent performance data on landing, actually, on the moon.
Yeah.
So we're now working with clients. Astrobotics is going to be, we're on the Astrobotics Griffin mission.
Wow. Yeah, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
That's coming up soon, isn't it?
It is, and we're really excited. I mean, they're going to be landing. The mission is to go to the South Pole, Shackleton's crater.
Yep.
Very harsh environment. So you have regolith, you have dust, you have on one side it's very light, and then you get into the crater, it's completely dark. So the environment is very tough.
Yeah.
And this LiDAR system that has been developed, we're now producing it. We've moved from R&D, so the last couple of years we have revenue generating programs now. But it's perfect for that environment.
Wow. So a lot of talk of lunar application. Beyond that also, any your sites are on Mars maybe, perhaps?
Yeah, so we're like I said, when NASA was developing this technology, it was with the understanding that we have to have accurate, very precise landing. And we're seeing a lot of that.
Yeah.
There's been some failures out there. It's not easy to land on the moon. It's particularly not easy to do it like some of the CLIPS missions. NASA is promoting doing this at, a certain budget. That just increases the challenges. So landing on the moon, we also have RPO systems, which are scanning systems. It's a little different technology and a little different, and depending on whether it's cooperative or non-cooperative, so how you design. The system at its core is the same. The electronics are the same. Now we have a beam pointing unit on it, and whether you're putting static telescopes on it or scanning telescopes, that makes a difference in the kind of application that you're going to be using.
Interesting. Okay. I always feel bad asking this question because you all are working at the cutting edge, but what's next? What else are you working on?
Well, that's a great question. So we're building the machine to build the machine, right? So, like I said, we've taught so much. I started out at Orbital, very innovative, but it was a very entrepreneurial culture that we were mentored. We're trying to recreate or build that entrepreneurial culture, where your engineering teams, they're thinking outside the box. All the same cliches that you're hearing, everyone's trying to do.
Yeah.
But the thing we're doing right now is photonic integrated chips. So that technology is going to reduce the swap, your mass. So right now we're at 4.5 kilograms, which is phenomenal for this type of technology. We expect within the next 6 to 7 months with our photonic integrated chips that we're going to be going through a qual program. We're actually working with JPL. We have contracts with JPL on the Mars sample return missions. So we're already anticipating what kind of qualification, human-rated type technology is needed to be out there. And for us, it's going to be reducing the size. Additionally, in our technology roadmap, we're also going to we want to deliver to our customers a total navigation system. Processing, our nav filter. We're already integrating IMUs on our ground systems. We've got that developed. We've also got the PIC, which photonic integrated chip.
Yep. Okay.
That's integrated all on our ground systems already. So our next step is to make it space qualified. But we want to deliver a complete package to the customer. So they don't need to go and spend extra money on or getting processing. We don't want to be the company that just gives them data and then they have to number crunch all that.
Right.
So.
Well, Bill, I don't always ask my guests this question, but you have a really fascinating story and you've got a lot of experience in this industry. So I figure, given your perspective, what are you really excited about? Not just at what you all are working on, but just more in general about what's going on in space industry right now. What's got you excited?
Well, I will tell you, in my career, there comes a point where you're giving back, and I am that. I'm doing that a lot because I was mentored by some of the best in the industry. But I do see the exploration, Europa. There's minerals, they're mining. We're actually working with some of our clients right now that are going to be doing studies to find water on the lunar surface.
Yeah.
And we know there's about 5 to 6%, but that's a small surface area that you have to find this.
They're not going to make it easy for us to get it.
Right.
Being the moon.
So, it's the moon is going to be a port, and it's going to be, and then you can't take everything, so you have to be able to build that. Space mobility, you're going to need to get and travel around.
Yeah.
This Mars, getting to Mars is going to take, this side. And it's not going to be one or two technologies. It's going to be, that's the beauty of space right now. It's always been integrating multiple different systems into one.
Yeah.
And we believe that our product and Psionic has the right product out there to make that transition.
We'll be right back.
Most security conferences talk about Zero Trust. Zero Trust World puts you inside. This is a hands-on cybersecurity event designed for practitioners who want real skills, not just theory. You'll take part in live hacking labs where you'll attack real environments, see how modern threats actually work, and learn how to stop them before they turn into incidents. But Zero Trust World is more than labs. You'll also experience expert-led sessions, practical case studies, and technical deep dives focused on real-world implementation. Whether you're blue team, red team, or responsible for securing an entire organization, the content is built to be immediately useful. You'll earn CPE credits, connect with peers across the industry, and leave with strategies you can put into action right away. Join us March 4th through the 6th in Orlando, Florida. Register now at ztw.com and take your Zero Trust strategy from theory to execution.
Welcome back. It's been interesting seeing how various space agencies around the world are choosing their lanes, so to speak, for areas that they are starting to really specialize in. To me, when I think about the many things that ESA is working on, I think of how they are really focusing on responsible, sustainable spacecraft re-entry and disposal, learning how to do it in ways that are better for our planet, and prioritizing good re-entry practices for active and ending missions, that kind of thing. I do hope other agencies will also follow their example. And along those lines, ESA is going to be doing an interesting research project involving 2 satellites and a plane later this year. 2 ESA cluster satellites. And Cluster is a 4-satellite constellation that finished its mission back in 2024 and are near the end of their life. Previously, 2 satellites from Cluster already demised, but there are 2 remaining Cluster satellites, and they are due to re-enter this year in late August and early September. And ESA not only was able to tweak these remaining satellites' trajectory, but it will also have a science team on a plane nearby the satellite's re-entry points, so those scientists can observe the re-entry itself in real time, or at least they will try to. It's not a simple task when re-entries do happen very quickly and, a mere 80 kilometers up in the atmosphere, very, very high up there. And I should note, ESA did an experiment like this with the first 2 cluster satellites that demised in 2024. And yeah, it was crazy hard to get a plane anywhere near the re-entry and gather any useful data. And ESA's not mincing words. It's going to be crazy hard to do it again. But hey, the more data, the better. Because whatever we can glean on how these satellites break up in the atmosphere, what survives and what doesn't, will allow for smarter satellite design in what ESA calls design for demise. Ooh, it's kind of gothy. ESA will be doing a dedicated mission just to this effect, actually, with something called Draco, which is all about learning about what happens during atmospheric reentry from the inside. So even more good data to come from that. And with Draco and Cluster, will have even better reentries and better, safer satellite disposal. That's a win-win-win. And that's T-Minus, brought to you by N2K Cyberwire. We would love to know what you think of our podcast. Your feedback ensures we deliver the insights that keep you a step ahead in the rapidly changing space industry. If you like our show, and I certainly hope you do, please share a rating and review in your podcast app if you don't mind. Please also fill out the survey in the show notes or send an email to space@n2k.com. We are proud that N2K Cyberwire is part of the daily routine of the most influential leaders and operators in the public and private sector, from the Fortune 500 to many of the world's preeminent intelligence and law enforcement agencies. N2K helps space and cybersecurity professionals grow, learn, and stay informed. As the nexus for discovery and connection, we bring you the people, the technology, and the ideas shaping the future of secure innovation. Learn how at n2k.com. N2K's senior producer is Alice Carruth. Our producer is Liz Stokes. We're mixed by Elliot Peltzman and Trey Hester, with original music by Elliot Peltzman. Our executive producer is Jennifer Iben. Peter Kilpie is our publisher, and I am your host, Maria Varmazis. Thank you for listening. We'll see you tomorrow.
T-Minus.
If you only attend one cybersecurity conference this year, make it RSAC 2026. It's happening March 23rd through the 26th in San Francisco, bringing together the global security community for 4 days of expert insights, hands-on learning, and real innovation. I'll say this plainly, I never miss this conference. The ideas and conversations stay with me all year. Join thousands of practitioners and leaders tackling today's toughest challenges and shaping what comes next. Register today at rsaconference.com/cyberwire26. I'll see you in San Francisco.